is a terrorist state.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Occupation, no war.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Israel is a terrorist state.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Occupation, no war.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Israel is a
Israel is a
terrorist state.
free, free,
Palestine.
free, free,
Palestine.
free, free.
Palestine.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
In a thousand, in a million.
We are all Palestinians.
In a thousand, in a million.
We are all Palestinians.
Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry.
We will never let you die.
Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry.
We will never let you die.
Free, free,
Palestine.
free, free,
Palestine.
free, free,
Palestine.
free, free,
Palestine.
free, free.
Palestine.
What do we want?
Ceasefire.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Ceasefire.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Ceasefire.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Ceasefire.
When do we want it?
Now.
Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now!
the cost. We need an alternative. Every MP that refused to stand with Palestine and refused to vote in favor of a ceasefire has blood on their hands and have no moral standings. We will not forget your crimes, and when election time comes and the politicians come knocking on our doors and asking for our votes, we will say absolutely not. The British establishment is guided by warlords and the industry of murder. They have stood on the wrong side of history, and that is why we as the people of Nottingham must stand on the right side of history. The people must stand on the right side of history. Our movement is growing stronger and stronger. We have had recent BDS victories, among them after a sustained campaign, Puma have pulled out of their sponsorship of the Israeli football team. But we will not end there. We will make Nottingham an apartheid-free city. And to ensure that we achieve that, collectively, we all have some action that we must take. We must continue the boycott of Israeli goods. We have a stall here with some of the companies like HP who are supporting Israel's apartheid infrastructure. So we will boycott them. If your workplace has contracts with HP, we will end our contracts with them, and we will demand that the Nottingham City Council immediately pulls out of all their contracts they have with any company directly complicit with apartheid, and we want to see the flag of Palestine wave over the council house building, and we will continue to wave the flag of Palestine. But amongst our victories, it is important to know that the suffering of the people of Palestine has not ended. Day by day, the situation worsens with a humanitarian disaster, and even post-ceasefire, the oppression will not end. Before this so-called war, but we will call it what it is, a genocide, this was already one of the deadliest years for the people of Palestine, with over 200 killed in the West Bank and Gaza. And this is why we boycott, this is why we protest, this is why we lobby. We will take action until Palestine is free. And all of us here today, all of you who have marched, each and every one of us must become a people who strive and work for the oppressed people of the world, all of the oppressed people of the world. We must strive and continue to march until we see the liberation of Palestine and the liberation of all those living under military occupation. We must dedicate our days and nights and sacrifice our wealth to build a movement to stand for justice. Now we have people from all faiths. We have Jews marching with us, we have Christians marching with us, we have atheists marching with us, we have Muslims marching with us, we have people from all faith and not unknown with us today. And I'm proud that the Council of Mosques has continually organized coaches, supported local Palestine activists. But why do we do that? It's because we have a clear command, as the Quran has stated. Believers, be upholders of justice and bearers of witness to the truth for the sake of God, even though it be against yourself or against your parents and kinsmen, or the rich or the poor. Allah is more concerned for their well-being than you are. Do not then follow your own desires, lest you keep them away from justice. If you twist or turn away from the truth, know that God is all aware of what you do. We know with full conviction that Palestine will be free from the river to the sea. As we witness a genocide take place, the question for us all is, will we continue to watch the scenes on the television, through social media and the news, or will we take action and stand firm against tyranny and oppression. We cannot afford to grow tired. We cannot afford to burn out. We cannot afford to fall silent. Palestine lives today because of the strength and the resilience of the people of Palestine. So we send salutations to those in Jenin, in Gaza, in Nablus, in Jerusalem, in Hebron, in 48, in the diaspora, and wherever Palestinians live. We will stand with Palestine. The Palestinians have not forgotten their struggle, and if we grow tired, if we stop marching, if we stop boycotting, and if we stop taking action, then we are doing a disservice to the people of Palestine. Our movement is rooted in ethics. Our movement is rooted in transformation. Our movement is rooted in change. Our movement is rooted in liberation. Our movement is rooted in decolonization. Our movement is rooted in justice. Our movement is to end the genocide. Our movement is to free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine!
When we say free Palestine, we say from Kashmir to Palestine, occupation is a crime. Can we all chant that together? From Kashmir to Palestine,
Occupation is a crime!
from Kashmir to Palestine,
Occupation is a crime!
from Kashmir to Palestine.
Occupation is a crime!
When we say free Palestine, we say dismantle structural racism. When we say free Palestine, we say tear apart settler colonialism. When we say free Palestine, we chant the chants that the government wanted to ban. When we say free Palestine, we will roar from the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free!
1 million of us have marched in London, and we are prepared to do it again. Rather, it is our duty to do it again. So save the day, Saturday 13th of January. Save a reminder on your phone now, put it in your diaries, get your families along, look out for the coaches in the next week. We will have details of the coaches going down, and look out for the organizations that are organizing coaches, whether that be your local mosque, the Palestine Solidarity Campaign, or Friends of Al-Aqsa. Do keep in touch and make sure we're all down in London on that day. So, our next speaker for today is from Friends of Al-Aqsa, one of the co-organizers of today's march. So please put your hands together and give a warm welcome to Adil Khwaja.
Thank you for that introduction. And I just want to say, it's so amazing to see everybody out here, young and old, people from all kinds of places. It's really, really nice to see. So give a hand for yourself. And before we start, I'd like to hold a moment of silence or silent prayer just for the people that have been killed in Palestine. So if you will join me just in a moment of silence. Thank you. For the last 2 months, the Israeli government and their longtime allies have tried their best to shame and demonize those of us who choose to come out and stand for justice, for truth, and for humanity. For the last 2 months, politicians have attempted to silence academics, journalists, musicians, and even our students. This censorship is a clear attempt to silence and intimidate anyone who would raise their voice and take a stand against the ongoing oppression and genocide in Palestine. For the last 75 years, Palestinians have been subject to displacement and death. Most people alive today will only know a Palestine that's been occupied. Not only have they been deprived of their human rights and their lands, but they've also been deprived of their voices. Not only have their homes been stolen, but they've also been robbed of their dignity, freedom, and agency. But we, the global majority, have chosen not to be silenced. We have seen the indomitable spirit of the Palestinian people facing unimaginable suffering. We've seen mothers holding their babies wrapped in cloth. We've seen wives holding the shoes of their husbands because that's all they've got left. We've seen doctors identifying their own children while they're working to save others in their hospital. And we've all seen grandfathers holding their grandchildren, the lifeless bodies of their grandchildren, saying, "Wake up, soul of my soul." We are merely here. I'm sorry. We are merely standing in solidarity with the oppressed, because what drives us is something greater than their war machinery or their bombs. What we have cannot be bought or sold. We do not march out of hate, as some people would have you believe. We believe in justice, equality, and peace for all people. This is why we march week in and week out, and we can't stop today. The brave and courageous Palestinians over the last 75 years have undergone exile, and despite all of the horrors and the deaths, they are still here. They will not be moved, and they refuse to be erased. The native Palestinians have a deeply rooted attachment to their land. The relationship can never be destroyed, no matter how many bombs or bullets are thrown in their direction. The cruel and total blockade by land, sea and air means that it's difficult for aid to reach them, but our voices can lift them. When they see us marching in our thousands and in our millions on the streets of every major city around the world, they see that they are not alone. They hear us and they call us to keep marching, to keep protesting, to do whatever we can to put pressure on our leaders to bring about a lasting change and a lasting peace, in the hope that one day they will taste their freedom. Freedom from Zionism, freedom from violence and bloodshed, and to live in peace and dignity when one day the children of Palestine will wake up to the sweet sound of birds and laughter and not bombs. We know that a ceasefire now is the only moral stance to end the murder of innocent men, women and children. But don't take my word for it. Let's just revisit what we've seen. Over 18,500 confirmed dead by the Gaza Ministry of Health. Over 7,500 of them children. And just to put that in perspective, the population of Hyson Green is 23,000. 1.9 million Gazans displaced. And the safe zone that's been designated by the IDF is a small strip of land called Al-Mawasi. It's just 3.3 square miles in area. And to put that in perspective, it's like asking the whole of the population of Nottingham, Birmingham and Manchester combined to gather in an area smaller than Woollerton. I don't have to tell you about the food shortages and the humanitarian aid that's been blocked, the electricity that's been shut off, the water that's been shut off, because the World Food Programme released a story just 4 days ago where one of the reporters, Hind Khodari, who was in Gaza during the humanitarian pause, stated, if death doesn't come from airstrikes, it will come from starvation. This is the situation that is happening right now. I don't have to tell you about the state of the hospitals, you've seen it. But don't take my word for it. The World Health Organization commented that after 9 weeks of war, 36 hospitals has been reduced to just 11, and even those are partially functioning. How many more Palestinians will it take? How many more Palestinian lives will it take before the people in power call for a meaningful intervention? You standing here today, you are definitive proof that the people united will never be defeated. But we can't stop at protests. For those who don't know, Friends of Al-Aqsa, they've been working tirelessly for the last 20 years for the rights of Palestinians. They want the return of the refugees to their homes and their lands as stipulated by the UN Resolution 194 and an end to the siege of Gaza. We want to see political change for Palestine. Friends of Al-Aqsa's work focuses on education, activism and lobbying. Campaign and BDS play a vital role. And if you're interested in finding out what you can do, the store's here, there's information and leaflets you can find out what activism you can take part in. I know it can be an impossible challenge. It might seem like we can't do anything, but we're living in unprecedented times and our response has to be unprecedented. When I look here and I see all the people that I've come across exercising your democratic right to protest, it's the most beautiful thing in my eyes. When I see people of all walks of life come together, stand united for justice, and all of you who attend these protests, who attend rallies and who raise their voices against injustice, you maintain a moral conscience. We know that it is our duty to be the voice of the voiceless. And we know that no one is free until everyone is free, especially and including the Palestinian people. Thank you.
Thank you very much to Adil. Now,
We do it all the more so in this instance because we are clear that when we're talking about what's happening to the Palestinian people, we are talking about a nuclear armed state, Israel, carrying out genocide against the Palestinians.
We must stand with Palestine, we must stand with Gaza, and we will not forget them. We will not forget Gaza. So do look at the following actions that are taking place. We've got a stall here for Friends of Al-Aqsa. They'll be promoting their events. Palestine Solidarity Campaign, any other organisation. There's a demo next week, next Saturday. So please continue to support Palestine. Continue to join the demos. Continue to support those organising. Thank you very much. And that's the end of today's process.
Palestine! Palestine!
People for Palestine next Saturday, 12 o'clock, St. Peter's Church!